Hey guys, welcome back to the church lighting game plan. And in this video, I want to talk about color and how we can use color in our services. Now, in the first video in this lesson, I talked about from the slides how color sets the mood for lighting and really is probably our most powerful tool in our toolbox that are the attributes of light: intensity, focus, color, and beam. And somebody's probably going to disagree with me on that and tell me that I'm wrong, and they might be right. But regardless, color is really powerful. And it's really something that you can use in your show to create that freshness that we've been talking about, keeping your show fresh as you go along. You can separate the different segments of your service with color by, having maybe a special color that you use for announcements, or one that matches the sermon series, and then of course colors that match the different songs that you're doing. And so we can use colors in a lot of different ways. And what I want to show you mostly in this video is a number of different types of color combinations that we can do. And so the first type of color combination is a monochrome color combination. So you can see here, everybody's blue. All the lights are blue. The movers are a little too dark for the amount of light I have in the room, and sometimes that's going to happen, especially when we're on a budget and don't have a lot of money to spend, and that's all right. But monochromatic is the type of color scheme where you're only using, one color, like blue. Here's another example, which I'm going to call reds, because in this example, we've taken about half the lights and made them more of a little amber, a little orangey red, like up on the ceiling and from the movers, and the back wall's still red. And what monochromatic schemes do, even though this one's, a little bit, it's almost red-orange, but it's almost just red. It's in between the two. And what monochromatic does for you is it really evokes a strong emotion. So if you've got a real strong song, like one that's talking about how God is fiery or something like that, or you've got, we were just in that blue look, and you've got a really slow and a really deep song, you may want to put it in blue or in violet. And so we can use these monochromatic color schemes like this one, which is yellow. You might use in a real upbeat song. And it's going to evoke a really powerful emotion. So you want to use it on songs that show that. And it also looks big and very unified. And so you want to think about that as you're creating color schemes. Then the other kinds of color schemes we have is where we have multiple colors in a color scheme. Oftentimes in lighting, I stick to a lot of two color schemes because I don't want to overwhelm people with different colors, but I want to be able to keep things fresh and keep things interesting as we go throughout the service. And so this is, a blue cyan look, almost monochromatic, but, real great for a slower but not too slow song. Here is a red and purple look, maybe for one of those deeper songs. A lot of churches use a lot of purple during the Easter season, and that's just a color that we associate with that season a lot. But definitely, a moody, deep, color scheme. Then you got colors like magenta and green here, or blue and orange. And for this color scheme, I actually took my movers and I put them in white. And that's a way that you can instantly create a little bit of freshness in your lighting by just taking an existing color scheme that you have and adding a little white into it. And all of a sudden, you've got a new lighting look and something you can pivot to. Maybe you're in your blue and orange look and you've got your movers in orange, unlike me. And then you just need to change it up a little, but not a lot. You don't want to change the colors completely. And so you just add some white in there, and now it's fresher, it's newer. And, you can do three color schemes, especially like, if you're doing a patriotic thing, like around the 4th of July, you can always do red, white, and blue, cyan, magenta, and yellow, other things like that. But for the most part, I like to stick with 2 color schemes because they're simple, they're not overwhelming, and they're not going to confuse you too much. Definitely we'll have the link below to the post on Learn Stage Lighting, where I talk about using color effectively. And if you want to dive in to all the psychology behind colors, what colors go well together, how to find colors that go well together, different types of color schemes and color matchups, it's all in that post. And if you haven't checked it out, definitely click on that below. And we're going to show you here some effects that you can use with color, because we can't talk about color without talking about effects. And I really like using color as an effect because you can be real subtle. If you remember, during the intensity video, we did an effect very similar to this, where it was a sine wave type of pattern going across the lights. And here, as you can see, we're doing that, but just with color, not with intensity. And what I like about color, as I mentioned, it gives you the ability, you can be really, really subtle with your effects. And you can, have times in your service where you want to add a little movement to the stage. Maybe you started out just slow in the song, and then the band's picking up a little, they're doing a little something, and you want the lighting to support that, right? And that this is with color is a really great way to do that. More so than with actually moving like your moving lights, because when you move your moving lights, it's usually pretty dramatic. And so we can use just color for those moments where we don't want to be as dramatic. And, if you want to be a little more, I want to show you here, just chasing white through your rig can be a very dramatic use of color. This almost looks like something out of a U2 concert. But I just wanted to give you an idea of a couple different effects that you can use with your lighting, with color in your lighting. And in the next video, we're going to talk about beam and using gobos. We're going to change those out in the movers and just talk about how to use that and how to really wrap up and bring all of intensity, focus, color, beam, plus effects together. And if you haven't checked out that post on Learn Stage Lighting about using color effectively, I'll link to it below so you can get it there, because it's really one you don't want to miss. It's packed full of a lot of good information, and if you're going to be sitting down and programming colors soon, it's one that you don't want to miss.